Hello, and welcome to the eMedNY computer-based training series for New York State Medicaid providers. This video is part of our ePACES series of tutorials. The purpose of this session is to familiarize providers with the ePACES dispensing validation system for durable medical equipment. Topics covered in this presentation include the dispensing validation system, or DVS General Information, how to request a DVS, examples of DVS responses, how to cancel a DVS, helpful reminders, and reference and contact information. The dispensing validation system is an electronic prior authorization obtained from MEVS, the Medicaid Eligibility Verification System, using ePACES. A DVS authorization is an 11-digit number, and a DVS request requires the current date and not a past or future date. Some DME services require DVS authorizations. When the procedure code's description is preceded by a hashtag, as in this example of adult-sized disposable incontinence products, the item or service requires an authorization via the dispensing validation system. Another way to determine if a DVS is required is to refer to the DME fee schedule on the emedny.org website. When a PA code of 6 is indicated, a DVS is required. Some DME items require the use of a 2-digit modifier. In this example, from the procedure code section of the DME provider manual, we see the RR rental modifier for a standard wheelchair. DME modifiers from the procedure code section of the DME provider manual include BO for orally administered enteral nutrition, K0 through K4 functional classification levels of ambulation, LT left side, RB replacement and repair, RR rental, RT right side, and U3 repair replacement to patient-owned equipment. Only use modifiers listed in the DME provider manual. And keep in mind, modifiers on a DVS request must match modifiers on the claim. DVS authorizations for durable medical equipment, orthotics, prosthetics, and prescription footwear are valid for 180 days and, if needed, may be canceled within 90 days of original issue date. DVS authorizations for medical supply items are valid for 5 days and, if needed, may be canceled within 24 hours. DVS authorization does not guarantee payment, and prior to submitting a DVS request, providers must verify a member's eligibility. To request an ePACES DVS authorization, go to the eMedNY website at www.emedny.org and select Login ePACES. Please note that access to ePACES requires enrollment. Contact the eMedNY call center at 800-343-9000 to enroll in ePACES. Enter your username and password on the ePACES login screen. Read and then check that you have read and agree to the Medicaid confidentiality regulations, then click Agree Login. Select Initial Request under the PA DVS section. Enter the 2 letters, 5 numbers, and 1 letter of a client ID and click Go. Select the transaction type non-dental DVS to request a DVS for DME. As a reminder, the procedure code description in the DME provider manual is preceded by a hashtag, and the fee schedule indicates a PA code of 6. A non-dental non-DVS is used to request a prior approval for DME. Those procedure codes in the DME provider manual are underlined, and the fee schedule indicates a PA code of 1. Leave the provider service address and contact information sections blank for a DME DVS request. A referring provider is required when the client is a restricted recipient. The Restricted Recipient Program is an administrative mechanism whereby selected Medicaid enrollees with a demonstrated pattern of abusive utilization of Medicaid services must receive their medical care from a designated primary provider. An ordering provider is required on all DME DVS requests. There are 3 ways of entering an ordering provider. The first option is to select a name from the list of your existing providers. Select the provider's name from the list and click Go. The selected provider is now listed as the ordering provider. The second option is to search by Medicaid provider's last name. Enter the provider's last name and click Go. Choose the provider by clicking on the radio button next to the provider's name in the Select column and then click on Select Provider. The selected provider is now the ordering provider. The third option is to search by the Medicaid provider's NPI number. Enter the NPI in the provider number field and click Go. The provider with the entered NPI is now the ordering provider. In the Event Information section, enter the facility type of Professional Dental. Enter the service type. Examples of valid service type codes for DME include 12 for durable medical equipment purchase and 18 for durable medical equipment rental. Enter the appropriate Release of Information option and leave the remaining fields in the Event Information section blank. Leave the Pattern of Delivery, Home Oxygen Therapy, and Home Health Care sections blank for a DME DVS request. Leave the Attachments, Certification Category, and Comment sections blank and click Next. Enter the service date in the From field. As a reminder, a DVS request requires the current date and not a past or future date. Enter the 5-digit procedure code. Enter the 2-digit modifiers when applicable. Enter the unit count service quantity. Enter the submitted charge in the line amount field. Once you've entered the service date, procedure code and applicable modifiers, the unit count, and the line amount, click Submit. Your screen will refresh and a message Request Submitted will appear. To view ePACES DVS responses, select Responses from the PA DVS section. Examples of DVS response action codes include A1, certified in total, all requested services units are authorized. A3, not certified, requested services units are not authorized. C, canceled, DVS has been canceled. CT, contact payer. And NA, no action required, authorization unnecessary for service requested. Examples of DVS descriptive text responses when action code A3 is received are listed here. The next 2 slides show examples of ePACES DVS responses. Here we have action codes C and NA with their associated response descriptive text. This slide shows examples of action code A3, not certified, and A1 certified in total. Click on the client ID number to access the DVS detail screen. The DVS Response Detail screen includes the client's information with the client ID, name, gender, and date of birth, the transaction type, in this example, non-dental DVS, the response action code, A1 certified in total, in this example, the issue date, effective date, and expiration date of the DVS request. And please note that the service delivery must occur between the issue date and the expiration date of the DVS authorization. The 11-digit number under Review ID is the DVS number for your claim. We are now going to go over canceling a DVS in ePACES. Before we go through the actual steps, please keep in mind that a DVS request may only be canceled. You cannot revise a DVS request. Only DVS responses with an action code of A1 may be canceled. If a DVS will not cancel, check if the claim was paid. If the claim was paid, replace the paid claim if it contains multiple claim lines and remove the one line with the DVS. If the paid claim contains only one claim line, void the claim. Once the paid claim is replaced or voided, the provider will be able to cancel the DVS. If the claim was not paid, check when the DVS was obtained. It could be out of the time frame for cancellation, 24 hours or 90 days depending on the item or service. There are two ways to cancel a DVS request. For option 1, select Revise Cancel Request under the PA DVS section. Enter the review ID number found in the DVS response and then click Go. Select Cancel Service Request and then click Submit. Again, as a reminder, a DVS request may only be canceled. For the second option of canceling a DVS, select Responses under the PA DVS section. Click on the Client ID to access the DVS Details screen. From the DVS Details screen, click on Revise Cancel Request. Select Cancel Service Request and click Submit. Some key points and reminders when requesting a DVS authorization for durable medical equipment. A DME DVS authorization is required when the procedure code's description is preceded by a # or a hashtag, or a PA code of 6 is indicated in the fee schedule. Only use modifiers listed in the DME provider manual. DVS authorizations for durable medical equipment, orthotics, prosthetics, and prescription footwear are valid for 180 days and, if needed, may be canceled within 90 days of the original issue date. A DVS authorization for medical supply items is valid for 5 days and, if needed, may be canceled within 24 hours. And a DVS authorization does not guarantee payment. A DVS request requires the current date and not a past or future date. A DVS request requires an ordering provider. A DVS response of A1 certified in total indicates requested services have been authorized. A DVS response of A3 not certified indicates requested services have not been authorized. Service or delivery must occur between the DVS issue date and expiration date. A DVS authorization may only be canceled, not revised, and only a DVS response of A1 certified in total may be canceled. For additional information regarding ePACES and the dispensing validation system, please visit the emedne.org website and reference the ePACES manual and the ePACES DVS reference sheets. For further assistance, please contact the eMedne call center at 800-343-9000. This concludes our ePACES dispensing validation system for durable medical equipment providers tutorial. Thank you for joining, and please visit us at www.emedny.org for additional training resources.